Welcome to the Gunnersville Grassroots Podcast, presented by Frog Talks. I'm your host, Pat Kennemer. My co-host, Mr. Trey Swindle, is still kind of missing in action. He left the last Open over in Toledo Bend and headed for a little practice in Oklahoma, I believe at Lake Eufaula. I believe he wanted to get a little time in over there before the off limits, and he was pretty close to start with. There is a slim chance he might be back here in the next week or two. We knew starting this year off that his schedule was going to be a little hectic, but he is going to grace us with his presence here soon, I believe. I ran into somebody in the store the other day that said they like it when he's on there because he's funny, and I don't want Trey to get a big head, so we won't tell him that. Today we're just going to do a little short episode. There's a lot of good tournaments coming up over the next 3 or 4 weeks. They kind of all got crammed in here at once. The next one up is the Captain and D's Castin N Catchin tournament. It's out of Goose Pond. It is a really good event. It's been going on for several years. It's a huge fundraiser type tournament with some really good payouts. And we're going to have Drew McNutt, which is he may be the director, but he's one of the directors of the tournament. He's going to join us and tell us a little bit about it. We're going to try to go through the check-in procedures morning and evening and just any random questions. Let him talk a little bit about the event and what it does, and hopefully give those fishing it or those interested in donating to it a little more information. So we're going to try to get Drew on the phone. I've got Drew McNutt here with us. Drew is the tournament director and one of many in a team that are responsible for the Castin N Catchin tournament. I'm going to let Drew kind of just kick this off, tell us a little bit about the tournament and how it got started, what you're doing, and then we'll just kind of discuss the process of it all from there.
Yeah, I appreciate it, Pat. I appreciate you having me on. This is something that's near and dear to our hearts. It's a mission and passion for our family and for the families, the other 3 families involved in Castin N Catchin, and just a little bit about how it started. All of our sons were born with congenital heart disease. And so Lee Bradford and I, local here in Scottsboro, the 2 families from Scottsboro, one from Birmingham and one from Huntsville. And so Lee's son Tucker was in for a heart surgery at Children's, and our son Andrew was in for a heart catheterization. And we just got to talking in the lobby about, how do we give back to the amazing doctors, surgeons, and nurses that have done so much for our children. And so we, Lee just offhand is, hey, what about a fishing tournament? And really just kind of a light bulb moment that went off because, he and I both were raised around Lake Gunnersville, and both of us fished. And so we knew the importance of the lake. We knew the importance of what everybody likes to do. And of course, at the end of the day, we know the importance of giving back to what we consider is the greatest hospital around, and with a pediatric congenital heart center at Children's. So it took off from there. And so this is the 8th annual Castin N Catchin tournament. And we just do everything we can to give back. 100% of that sponsorship money goes directly to the Pediatric Congenital Heart Center at Children's of Alabama. And 100% of the tournament registration goes back to the angler themselves. So we have 100% goes to the hospital, 100% goes back to the angler. It's a win-win for everybody.
It's April 27th, which is a little over a week away. I believe you cap it at, 250 boats?
That's correct. Mm-hmm.
That's correct. Okay. All right. So entry fee is $110. Is that right? Mm-hmm. That includes big fish.
That includes big fish. And I don't know, Pat, and I know you and I both have fished a lot of tournaments in the past, and I don't know where you can go fish a tournament these days for $110 a boat. And have a chance to win a grand prize of $15,000. I don't know if it's around anywhere in the amateur division.
I don't know that it is. And first place is a guaranteed $15,000. That's correct.
That's right. Yeah. That's correct. $15,000, and it's provided by Zeus Logistics.
Zeus Logistics. I believe they're out of Nashville. Is that right?
That's correct.
There's also a meeting, or an optional meeting and dinner the night before. Tell us a little bit about that.
So, it's not mandatory. We highly encourage our anglers to be at that dinner. It's an anglers meeting and dinner. The dinner's provided by Blue Plate Cafe in Huntsville, and they do a tremendous job. And that's another Hart family. And really, once you start seeing how God has orchestrated everything that has gone into this tournament, and when you start talking to more and more people, you start hearing stories about, well, my family was affected by that. My family was affected by that. And so that's ultimately how Blue Plate Cafe was involved. with the Martin family. And then, so we start at 6 o'clock. It'll be on Friday, the 28th, Friday night, next Friday night. And so there we'll have dinner. We'll go over the rules. We have some presentations by some of our surgeons and doctors about the impacts that our fundraising efforts have made, not only in Alabama, but worldwide. And we'll have a guest speaker there as well. So it's a neat time. We encourage everybody to attend. We understand that some can't attend. We'll Facebook Live that as well. But that's where you'll be able to get all your information. You'll be able to get your boat flag and everything that goes into that. So that way you don't have to mess with it on Saturday morning. So we encourage everybody to be there, but that's at Goose Pond Civic Center this year. Formerly in the past, we've done it outside, but we'll be indoors this year there at the Civic Center at Goose Pond.
At the Civic Center. Okay. All right. So that's Friday night before. Now you mentioned getting your boat flag the night before, or the night before. So let's kind of go through the process of if you go to the meeting, you're going to kind of sort of be checked in already, right?
That's correct.
Right. Mm-hmm. If you don't, and you show up there Saturday morning, what are the steps to do?
So at 4:30, we'll have under the white tent there in the big parking lot. So the parking lot, if you've never fished with us, the main parking lot at Goose Pond will be closed down. That's where we'll do our tents and our stage setup and our kids expo and kids fishing clinic and all that's going to be taking place, or kids fun zone actually. And so once you get put in, you can either go ahead and put in, or you can pull to the side, over to the side as you pull up the driveway. There at Goose Pond, and under the big white tent, we have portable lights are going to be set up, so it's going to be well lit. You can come up to the tent, you can check in there. We'll get you all your information at that particular time. And you mentioned the cap at $250, so there is an option if we have not reached the cap Friday night at the dinner to go ahead and sign up, but that has to be cash only, $110 cash only. And you can also sign up if we haven't reached the cap, and we'll communicate that out if we do. But if we haven't reached the cap, then you can sign up Saturday morning cash only as well. So when you come in, just a little bit about the logistics. Come all the way down to where the Doc's restaurant is, and we'll have a directional sign. You're going to turn in right there. We'll have volunteers that are going to be with flashlights waving you down the route that you should take, and then we'll get you parked. We'll orchestrate that, and as quick as we can get in, quick as we can get out. And then once that happens, once you get in the water, we'll have the national anthem. Scottsboro Fire Department brings the big ladder truck and big American flag, and we try to do it first class and give everybody something special. And then, 5:30, 5:45, depending on light conditions, we'll be blasting off.
If somebody comes by water, is there a live well check? It seems like y'all do that when their boats are in line, but if somebody comes by water, how do they check in?
So we do single file checks. Everybody comes by the dock on blast off. So we'll start with 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. They're staged at the dock. Everybody else will be pulled away from the dock, and we'll do single file line as we come by. So you'll have your live wells open, pumps running, your life jackets on, kill switch attached, and your running lights going. And if any of that's not in check, we'll ask you to pull over. We'll make it right, and then you can blast off at that time. So yes, everything will be checked there on the water. Once we do that, we'll pre-check 2 through 10. Our Bassmaster CTAs will be helping to do that. And our goal is to get you blasted off as soon as possible, to get you the maximum amount of fishing time that we possibly can get. And generally, over 200 boat tournament, we try to get you out in 45 minutes.
Right. So, and when he mentioned boat flags, I remember this from years past. You'll have a little flag that you can zip tie to a light pole or whatever that actually has your boat number in it. So it will make it easier to line up to go through the blast off, because you can see what somebody's boat number is versus like last weekend we were going, "What number are you?"
Hollering out, "What's your number?" Yeah, I've been there before. What we try to do is we try to cut down on the confusion. And if I see in front of me, hey, all right, there's boat 37 over there, I'm boat 38, I need to fall in behind. What we do ask is if you're some of the latter numbers, please don't get up there toward the front, toward the rock causeways over to the side, if they'll kind of back up. And if you're boat 200, obviously, you need to be further back towards the cabins down that direction, just so we can get everybody in and out and you can see the numbers. And so, yes, the boat flag is like corrugated plastic, hard plastic. It's got the brads on it. and then or the whatever you call them. I can't remember what you call them now.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
So many so many words over the past few weeks, but grommets, I guess is what you call
That's it. I was sitting there struggling for it. Yeah.
Yeah. So we supply the zip ties as well. Just take that zip tie and tie it on the back of your seat pedestal or trolling motor cable or something, that'll hold that where it's visible. And so it's great for blast off. And it's also, we send photographers and cameras around on the water, so we know we can identify who's in our tournament. And if there's a rules violation and another angler can see, hey, boat 2 is not doing this or boat 2 did this, then obviously it's able to easier to identify as well.
Sure. So pretty much if you're checked in from the dinner the night before, you show up and wait for them to call your number.
That's correct.
Yeah.
We try to make it as easy as possible. And also too, we actually pass out Jack's biscuits. Jack's of Scottsboro is one of our big time sponsors, and they supply breakfast and biscuits to our anglers. And so when you're blasting off coming through the line, we will toss you 2 biscuits per boat, sausage biscuits, and you're good to go. Also too, if people need another option for breakfast, or you need ice or snacks or lures or whatever, Victory Sportsman there at Goose Pond is going to be open that morning early. And I encourage everybody to go in and visit them as well.
Oh yeah. They'll be glad to take care of you as well. Flights, 25 right. per flight every 15 minutes. Is that the way it works?
That's correct. That's correct. And so what we try to do is maximize the amount of time that we give people. I mentioned before, Bassmaster brings their weigh trailer, and so obviously they're here. We would like to extend flights out to 4:30, 5 o'clock, in a 200 plus boat tournament, but simply the Bassmaster trailer has to get on to the next tournament. So, it's not like we can extend that out. But the flights are starting at 2 o'clock, and then increments there, 25 boats per flight.
Okay. So really at 250, your latest one would be what, 3:30? Is that right?
Yes. Yeah. So around 3:30, 3:15, 3:30.
Yeah, 3:15, 3:30. So we fished all day long. We're coming back in. It's 2 o'clock. I was boat number 5. I'm not. I'm just making up numbers. But it's time to check in. What do I do?
So on the floating dock at Goose Pond, which is on the south side of the ramp, that's going to be our official check-in point. So if you fished at Goose Pond before or have never fished at Goose Pond before, there's a series of no wake buoys out. So once you hit that no wake zone, our spotters are going to be on that dock. So we're going to know if you hit that no wake zone, then we know you made the break point at that time. And we'll have the official clock there. We'll have our spotters will be there, and our check-in folks will be there. So what you'll do at that point, if you are not weighing any fish, go ahead and clip your boat flag off, have it in hand. You'll hand it to them and tell them you're not weighing in. And we know that you've checked in off the water, and we know that you're safe and sound, and we don't have to come looking for you. Also, too, if you are weighing, you can go ahead and keep your boat flag. And when you bring your fish up, go ahead and clip that tag off, that boat flag, and then you can bring it up. So we will weigh from the water. Okay. We're not going to trailer weigh. So make sure that you pull up there at the dock, get tied up. And then we ask that once you get done weighing in, if you'll go ahead and pull away from the dock so the next flight comes in, because, dock space is kind of limited. It's a bigger dock, but it's pretty limited. So if you'll pull away from the dock, and that way the next flight can come in so we don't get backed up with the flights coming in.
So for those that are directionally challenged, if you're in the water looking at the boat ramp, the southernmost one is the one on the right that's beside the boat ramp. And that is going to be where people are standing there checking you in. So when we pull inside those buoys, and you'll see somebody standing up there in one of y'all's shirts probably, and you just say, hey, boat 110 or whatever you are. And
that's right.
Okay.
That's right.
All right. And,
just make sure they verbally confirm it with our staff, and just make sure they see and make sure they repeat it back to you what number you are. And that way we don't have any discrepancies, and that way we know that you were in on time, and to avoid a penalty for sure.
Sure. And to recap something you just said, do not take your boat out of the water before you weigh your fish.
That's correct. That's correct. And I know there are benefits behind doing that, but also too, one of our main concerns is fish care. And when we've seen it before, boat pulls out, live wells are not plugged, and then there you go, all the water's out. Now you have fish on dry. So, the best possible way we can do it, and the best way we can for fish care to get these fish back in Lake Guntersville so we can keep catching them for years and years, is make sure that we do a weigh in from your boat, not from your trailer.
Right. And bring them to your weigh line in a bag with water. And you guys we're using your bags. Is that right?
That's correct. Yeah, we'll use Bassmaster's weigh bags, and they'll have them there ready. It has the mesh bag inside, so make sure you have proper water inside. And once you get up to our CTAs behind the stage, they've got oxygenated, they've got the G juice, they've got everything just like a Bassmaster tournament. What we say is it's first class. We want to take care of them, oxygenation, and then when we get them up on stage, we're going to be really quick about getting them off stage and getting them back in. So if you do pictures, that we're very quick with them, we get them back in water and we get them soaking again, so we can get them back in Lake Guntersville alive.
Sure, and we appreciate that because Guntersville has a few tournaments, and it's nice to take care of what we got.
You're absolutely correct. Absolutely.
There's something else I noted. It sounds just to wrap up the whole tournament day. You're gonna go through 200 and whatever, however many boats you end up with, and at the end of the day, you're gonna announce the winners. Anybody making more than $500, I think, gets a check mailed to them, or $1,000 or higher. Anybody with $1,000 or higher will get a check, and you have to fill out a W-9 because you guys have to send out 1099s at the end of the year. So
that's correct. Yeah.
So, but you pay money through 60th place. Is that right?
It really is crazy. When you look at the payout on a full field of 250 boats, we obviously want to get to 250. We were close last year, the closest we've ever been last year. But yes, I mean, with cash and prizes, we'll go down into the 70s, and 70 places. And once again, I don't know what tournament does that. And we've been very, very, very fortunate to have sponsors on board that put up the money up front. 100% of the entry fee, well, actually it's 110% is paid back with the $15,000 overlay with Zeus Logistics. And when you do that, I mean, you think about Duckett Fishing. Duckett, Boyd Duckett and his company puts up 50 rods. We've got local businesses that do gift cards. We got TH Marine and Shayna that does Ramsey, that does just a lot of different things for us with product. And so we're very, very, very appreciative of those sponsors that help us achieve and accomplish something very special for our anglers, because sure, this is a charity tournament, but we wanted a full-fledged fishing tournament for our anglers to come win money and to come have fun and to hopefully enjoy their day and to come back and fish with us year after year.
Sure. I also see that you've got a highest finishing parent-child award, so you could double dip. If you win the tournament and you got a kid with you, you get an extra $500 for the highest parent-child. Is that correct?
That's correct. 16 years and younger with their parent is extra $500 that is supported to us by Northeast Alabama Community College here in DeKalb County and Jackson County. And yeah, that's just another incentive, and that's for multiple reasons. We want kids and parents to get out and fish together, and we want that incentive because a lot of times everybody's busy, and just take 6 or 8 hours to be out with your kid, to be out with your parent, and just make memories. I mean, some of my best memories with my dad has been on Lake Guntersville.
Sure.
And so we would like to create that environment as well.
And does it have to be a parent-child, or can it just be an adult and a child that's, if your neighbor's got a kid and they don't fish or whatever? I mean, is it just parent-child?
Just parent-child.
Just parent-child. It's easier to just keep it that. That's fine. No,
that's right.
That question was going to get asked. So it might.
Well, I appreciate you asking that one.
There's a handful of other things that you guys do to raise money, one of which involves Randy Howell. You want to just give us a quick rundown of that?
Yeah, so Randy Howell is one of my best friends, and Randy and Robin both have been behind our mission and passion for since day one, since their creation. And he and I have had a lot of conversations about how do we even start this? What does it look like? And those that have been fishing with us in the past know that if Randy's available and he's not on the tournament trail, he's here for our event. And so he donates this whole fishing trip with expenses and everything included to the highest bidder. And so it's an auction for 2 people to fish a day with Randy Howell on Lake Guntersville. And on top of that, Livingston Lures sends a $500 tackle package to the winners, and on that day that they actually go out. So the auction is up live. Excuse me. It's on our website, castinandcatchin.org, and it's going now. I believe the current bid offer is around $1,600. So we've got several bids already. And so we want that to continue to grow and continue to raise money. And 100% of that money goes straight to the Pediatric Congenital Heart Center at Children's of Alabama. So we can't thank Randy enough. We can't thank Robin Howell enough. Just their generosity and support. And if you know Randy, you know what kind of person he is. If you know Robin, you know what kind of person she is. And we just greatly appreciate their friendship and their continued really just pledge behind what we're doing and continue to see our mission and passion.
Yeah, they've definitely done a lot, and they help in a lot of ways. They try
Absolutely.
to. So, if I don't know that there could be any questions left, but somebody always comes up with one. If somebody has a question, how do they get an answer between now and then?
So, right. So you can email Castin N Catchin at gmail.com. So it's Castin without the G, the letter N, Catchin without the G at gmail.com. And we can answer any questions there that you might have. And, I'm sure some kind of question will come up, but reach out to us through that email address. And we appreciate everybody's support, and we hope that our goal is to have a full field this year. We've never had truly a full field to get the full payout, but we're looking at paying out over $43,000, and then with prizes on top of that. So that's our goal. The weather right now looks good. Hopefully that holds.
It's Saturday.
Yeah, well, that's
We've
true.
been in that pattern this year. Every Saturday seems to be, but maybe it will shake its head out of that between now and then. To sign up, castinandcatchin.org.
That's correct.
Victory Sportsman at Goose Pond, Harbin Automotive, or Captain D's in Scottsboro.
That's correct. So the obviously the most I'm gonna say the easiest way to sign up will be online, and I know some people don't do that, but they can go paper copy brochure and sign up at Captain D's, Harbin, and Victory, and we'll get that taken care of. But we will turn off the online registrations on Thursday, which will be the 27th, and then the 28th and 29th. The morning of the 29th will be cash only. So let's fill it up. It's filling up fast. So we encourage people to go ahead and get those registrations in. And if they're having doubts about it, come fish with us. We'll have a great time. I promise you'll have a great time, and we'll have a great day on the water.
If you can fish it. Now, he mentioned the 27th of April. That's my anniversary. And he's always had it about the end of April, and it's always been really complicated. I cannot commit yet. I'm still working on that. I've tried for years to get you to move it, and you laugh at me every time. So
yeah, it's and yeah, you better do what the wife tells you to do on that one.
Yeah, I'm still waiting on that answer. I'm not sure when I'll have that. But one other thing you mentioned that I made note of that I wanted to bring up, it was the Kid Zone on Saturday. For those that aren't fishing, tell a little bit about what else is going on down there Saturday at Goose Pond.
Yeah, so 12 o'clock on Saturday, we'll start the Kids Fun Zone. And if you've been down there before, kind of know we have two catfish tanks where kids and a lot of adults will go in there and fish around, but mainly for our kids. And we'll actually have bouncy houses, face paint and balloon making, the whole 9 yards. We'll have Kona ice. We'll have food trucks that are available. We'll have a lot of different vendors that are going to be there. So it's really going to be a really, really special day. And that'll be from 12 to 2 o'clock, and we'll start the weigh-in at 2 o'clock. So come down to Goose Pond, down to the ramp, actually at Victory Sportsman at Goose Pond. And there'll be something for everybody, whether you fish or don't fish or can't fish, whatever the case is. And everybody have a great time.
Well, Drew, I hope this information helps somebody and I hope it helps your stuff run a little smoother, because people actually hear it and go, oh, they said to do this. So, hopefully it helps you, helps them. Appreciate you taking a little time to come on here and talk with us.
Yeah, Pat, I appreciate everything you do for us. And you've been a big support of ours ever since day one. And, hopefully it does answer some questions, but I encourage everybody to castinandcatchin at gmail.com if you have any additional questions, or you can reach out to Pat, I'm sure, and he can get with me on what question you may have, and we can get you an answer for sure. So we look forward to it, and we thank you for all that you do for us, Pat.
All righty, Drew. Take care. We'll talk to you soon.
Thanks, Pat. Have a good day.
You do. There you have it, folks. Pretty good breakdown of how that event's going to go. It is a really good tournament. I fished almost all of them. There was a couple of them that fell right at my anniversary, and my wife just said no. So she's been real good to me over the years about that, but sometimes she just says no. If you're married, you understand. One other thing that I failed to mention when I had Drew on there is the Bass Cash Bash for, I guess, 1 or 2 years now. We're offering, we meaning me as the local director, an extra $500 if you're registered and you catch a tag during the tournament. Bring it to the weigh-in. If you call the fish, just pull the tag and bring the tag. But if you catch a tagged fish during the Castin N Catchin tournament, you get a $500 bonus from Bass Cash Bash. So make sure you're registered. Don't be that guy. That event, for those that are listening, April 27th out of Goose Pond. It's a really good tournament, all kinds of things. Send your wife and kids down there on Saturday to hang out and let them be in the bouncy house and watch you come weigh fish. Several other good events coming up over the weeks following that. We'll probably talk about some of those between now and then. Until then, enjoy the floating grass. Talk to you soon.